Hey guys, it's Mike at Craft Beer Storm, your host, also founder, owner, brewer at Brew Brewing Company in glorious Portsmouth, New Hampshire. Raining today, but that's okay. Still cold up here, but it is still winter, apparently. I'm not sure if spring happened yet. Anyway, the clocks went forward, so. But, so today is Craft Brew News. It's Friday. So here we go. Articles are brought to you by brewbound.com. First article. Anchor workers vote to unionize. We talked about this in the past. We don't know if they're going to unionize or not. There was an effort, but they all got together and apparently they voted. So seeking better pay and benefits, workers at San Francisco's Anchor Brewing Company voted in favor of forming a union on Wednesday, according to Bloomberg. The vote to organize the International Longshore and Warehouse Union passed 31-16, the San Francisco Chronicle reported. Anchor, which was acquired by Japan's Sapporo Holdings Limited in 2017, now has 10 days to dispute the vote. So we got a lot of drama going on at Anchor in terms of unionization. The effort to unionize has been met with multiple union-busting tactics from Anchor management, despite a February 14 pledge to remain neutral. According to HuffPost management, pressured the 61 brewery owners and 9 staffers at Public Taps, its neighboring taproom, to form separate bargaining units. And Public Taps employees are slated to vote on whether to form a union later today, according to Anchor Union SF Twitter account. Additionally, Anchor management reportedly intimidated employees during private meetings and threatened years-long wage freezes. In turn, employees filed an unfair labor practice complaint with the National Labor Relations Board earlier this month, alleging management deployed union-busting tactics, including ordering employees to remove pro-union pins while on the job. Bloomberg reported. That's unions, is it okay? Is it not okay? What's happening with these, the individuals out in San Francisco? I know from everybody that I talk to in San Francisco, it's like the cost of living is out of control. So, they might have a point there. And, Sapporo's the owner now. So I think if they're being underpaid, they should be paid more, or at least a fair wage. But union busting tactics, what are we in, like the early 1900s? I don't know what's going on. So we'll see what happens with that. I guess it'll be in the courts and it'll be a big mess, but we'll continue to keep you updated. Next story. No, Thorn Brewing was not sold to a cannabis company. Next Green Wave Holdings, a vertically integrated California cannabis company, issued a press release Tuesday erroneously indicating that San Diego's Thorn Brewing had been sold. And according to Brewbound, Thorn Brewing co-founder Dennis O'Connor confirmed the brewery was not part of a Next Green Wave's $27 million transaction, which included acquisition of more than 45 CBD and THC products. So a lot of interaction in the cannabis world as well, and the beer world, which is kind of becoming intermingled. So I just keep seeing these stories pop up. Next Wave Holdings actually purchased SD Cannabis. It's a company O'Connor said he has been working with independently on the development of water-soluble THC and CBD products. The relationship with SD Cannabis developed after Thorn Brewing released a 4.2% ABV session IPA called OG IPA, which was brewed with cannabis-derived terpenes. That product, which contained no THC or CBD, was released in 2016 and was made in collaboration with Jetty Extract. So they're extracting chemicals that are not THC and CBD. Maybe they're trying to skirt the law. I don't know. But O'Connor was still interested in creating a cannabis supplement that could be added to various beverages. So he teamed up with SD Cannabis to research and develop a new product. He said you buy it at a local dispensary and mix it with your beer or whiskey, he said, noting that the company plans to launch the products next month on April 20th. He envisions mixologists experimenting with the THC and CBD mix. I don't know what's going to happen with this mixture of cannabis extracts and alcohol. I think it's a recipe for disaster, man. All these people are going to be hammered. It's the way it's going. I don't know what's going to, I don't know. But it just seems like, it doesn't seem like a good mix, but apparently it's happening. It's going to be legal. And it'll just be interesting to look at this industry and see it's a very lucrative industry. AB InBev and Molson Coors are pumping billions with a B into it. They're getting these Canadian cannabis growers, and they're partnering them with American brewers, and they're just creating a whole bunch of stuff that's going on. So we will see with that too as well. But it's like a drama. Unbelievable. Beer industry stakeholders in Maryland compromise on reform. Next story. Maryland's craft brewers, wholesalers, and retailers have reached an agreement on sweeping legislation that, if approved, would reform the state's laws surrounding self-distribution, taproom sales, and franchise agreements. One set of proposed bills would allow the beer companies producing 20,000 barrels or less to terminate their wholesale contracts by giving 45 days notice without showing good cause. The other bills would raise caps on self-distribution, taproom sales, and production limits. This is a problem, I guess, in states and with brewers, with distributors, where they sign these contracts, they get into contracts with distributors, and it's very difficult to get out of them. And it varies state to state. I guess Maryland is spearheading something where, if there's two parties and they can't work together, let's terminate the agreement. Why drag it out? Currently, these companies are required to give 180 degrees notice and show good cause in order to get out of their distribution agreements. So they have to give 6 months. And they have to show good cause. So they have to prove that, which is a mess. A separate piece of legislation called the Modernization Act would increase the self-distribution cap from 3,000 barrels to 5,000 barrels annually for breweries holding a Class 7 limited beer wholesaler license. And in the beer industry, volume. That's what you need to do in order to make money. Unless you have a great tap room and you have people come in, and then you can make a living off of that. But usually it's a hybrid between tap room and sales. So that's your wholesalers and distributors. It's another interesting part of the beer world. Sign agreements. You need a distributor sometimes to get your product out. Actually, to do it yourself, it's a pain in the butt, and it costs a lot of money. Distributor comes, picks it up. They take a cut out of your profit, but they do deliver it. But sometimes you're at the mercy of distributors, and that's what it is. They can tell you what to brew, what not to brew, and then you're like, all right, why am I doing this? I'm trying to do this as a passion and trying to be creative. And then these things go sour, and you try to get out of it, and sometimes it's impossible, or it takes a really long time. Next story: wholesaler group opposes Texas go-to sales bills. Here's another story about wholesalers. In an Austin American Statesman co-op titled "State Beer Sales Aren't Broken, Leave Them Alone," Larry Del Papa, a wealthy beer distributor, argued that allowing Texas manufacturing breweries to sell beer for off-premise consumption would harm independently owned grocery and convenience and liquor stores. And Del Papa serves as the president of the Wholesale Beer Distributors of Texas, a powerful wholesaler lobbying group, right, that has refused to sign a stakeholder agreement reached between the Texas Craft Brewers Guild and the Beer Alliance of Texas. If passed by lawmakers, that agreement would put an end to a years-long contentious dispute over go-to beer sales by allowing manufacturing breweries to sell beer for off-premise consumption within the state's existing 5,000 barrel cap on direct-to-consumer sales. So here we go with lobbies again. According to Del Papa, only 10 craft breweries would benefit from the legislation. The rest of the state's 305 other breweries, Del Papa argued, would operate under brewpub licenses due to falling below the 10,000 barrel cap. However, Austin Beer Works co-owner Adam DeBauer told Brewbound that the law change would benefit hundreds of brewers, fostering growth that could expand those companies' production beyond the 10,000 barrel cap. So here we have lobbies coming in saying, no, it's going to affect everybody. Grocery, convenience, liquor stores. The brewers are saying, no, it's a good law. Yeah, I'm going to side with the brewers on this, I think. It's just a lot of lobby trying to squash, the natural progression of things, holding on to, an antiquated system that really should go away. I mean, if you make a load of beer and you make a ton of beer and you want to use a wholesaler, I think that's the way to do it. We've had people on the podcast that said, we like wholesalers. It's very efficient for us. I'm like, that's cool. We also had other, brewers on the podcast that they're like, this wholesaler thing is ridiculous and we need to go direct to consumer. Me personally, I'd love to go direct to consumer. I'm small. I do self-distribute, which is great. But, there you go. Lobbies, distributors, unions, the drama continues. It's a soap opera. Or a regular opera. If you haven't if you haven't listened to an opera, listen to it. It's just all kinds of stuff going on. And then you can relate to all those stories. So there's your entertainment for this Friday. If you like what you're hearing, if you like what we're doing, please, 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 please go on to iTunes, subscribe, give us a rating and review. That's the only way we get up in the rankings. Tell a friend, tell 10 friends. That we're out there and we're just bringing great information to you, the real information, the truth. And we have great guests on the podcast. Monday we have guests, brewers, movers, and shakers in the beer industry. Wednesday we have beer styles. So I go down the GABF list and we describe a different beer style every week. Tell you what glasses are it in, tell you what the color should be, and the barley that's used, and then and give you examples. And then Friday we bring you this craft brew news. So that's all I have for today. I hope you have a great weekend. God bless, and we'll see you guys on Monday. Take care.